Hello, good morning, you guys. Welcome back to another summer bulk episode. It is the morning, as always. If you're new here, I always turn this thing on in the morning and I weigh myself in, which is exactly what we're about to do. I am out of my green smoothie ingredients, so I don't get to have that first thing in the morning today, and I'm very sad about it. And I'm very sad about it because it's become a routine and I've really loved and enjoyed having that green smoothie every morning, but it's okay. Today I'm going to be headed back home because my parents are gone to Armenia, so I'm just going to keep eyes on the house for a little bit while my sister is gone. I'm actually so excited to be back home and see my dog. Gonna get my lift in, and I also have a birthday celebration of a friend's today, so I'm going to show you guys all of that. We're going out to eat at an Italian restaurant. You guys know how I feel about pasta, so I don't know, just see what's on the menu. I'm most likely gonna get pasta unless something else calls my name. That's where I'm gonna go. 111.2 is pretty solid, you guys. I've literally been hovering right around there. To be honest, as I was weighing myself in every morning, I was like either 111, and I never really got too close to the 0.4 mark. This is the closest that I've been. I've literally been hovering around 111, which is perfect. Perfect. I'm so excited to be keeping that steady weight of 111. We will not be taking measurements today because obviously I took them last video. I'm hovering around the same weight. We might not take measurements for a little bit until the end of this maintenance process goes. So in like 2 more weeks, when I'm done sort of being steady at 111, I'll take a measurement right before I move into gaining weight again to see if maybe my measurements changed while I've been maintaining. Another thing, I know a lot of you have been asking for some kind of an upper body workout. I do want to say, I'm sorry for literally only showing you guys legs. I sort of saw it as sort of like, since the bulk was for my glutes, that I would make sure to be, look at my position right now. Anyways, I would make sure, in my head, since the summer bulk series was about my glutes, I sort of made sure to always record on a day that was legs. Today's also legs. But I hear you guys, and next week's I will keep it for an upper body. If you do not know, though, I have like a TikTok and an Instagram where I post tons of my upper body workouts. And I went into the fact that now my upper body workouts are a little bit different than they used to be. Before, I used to split it up differently. I used to split it up like chest tries, back bis, shoulders on their own specific day. But now, and if you didn't know, to emphasize sort of like glute size over anything else, I've smushed all of my upper body days into one, so it's just this massive, fun, like long upper body day. People always have something to say about it when I post about it online, like this isn't really effective, and I personally, doesn't really matter to me because that's just what I'm doing temporarily, and I think it's still sort of effective. But anyways, I will show you guys one of my upper body days another time. As of right now, the only upper body muscle that gets a separate day is back. And it just because back is just so fun. I've always found like your back muscles to be really attractive. So I'm not going to take away its separate day because I really do want to continue to put emphasis on it. And also, up until now, I have not been trying to progressively overload my upper body movements. I've been sort of staying at a steady weight that I know that I can do for a steady amount of reps. Even though prior to that, I was trying to get these higher numbers in my shoulder press. And other things, I stopped doing that just because I didn't really want to progressively overload my upper muscles in any way. But yesterday I worked out with the boys who I've recorded a video with on here and I do some TikToks with, and I hit a bench PR. It was just sort of in the moment and I was really excited about it. So here's the video to that. I hit 100 pounds, which is sort of a big deal for me because, I don't know, you guys, it's so rewarding to see yourself go from really weak to really strong. And I know really strong is relative. There's probably people out there who are pushing so much more weight than me, but it's my transformation that really means a lot to me, and it's moments like that make me so proud of myself because I know where I was in the beginning, and I know how difficult benching with the bar was, you know? So this was a huge accomplishment for me, and I'm so happy. Come here. Oh, he's so excited. Hi, baby. Hi. What about you, Adi? Adi, see them. Adi. So stop. I love you, baby. Oh, I love you, baby. Oh, you like that? Oh, you like that? Oh. I miss you too. I missed you. Yeah, I missed you so much. I missed you. I missed you. Hey, relax. Hey, Snowy. I missed you. Yeah.
was trying to see through your flaws, 'cause I know that you got so much more to give. You made a real mess, but I miss you though, 'cause I can go to sleep when I'm alone again. Say you wanna fix our problems. How long should I be waiting? Feels like I've had too much of drama, but I'm not ready to give in. Every time I see a glimpse of your good side, I start wondering how I could make it last a little longer. Say you wanna fix our problems. How long should I be waiting? Feels like I've had too much of drama, but I'm not ready to give in. I don't wanna see us going on and off again. Baby, all I really wanted. I'll be your anything if you be the one to take me home. 'Cause right now everything makes me wanna leave this place and roam. Make me feel alive. Take my hand around, let me be the one. Let's just take the dive. Night's only begun, don't you think we're done?
Back home from that workout, I'm getting ready to go to the birthday dinner, and I just wanted to mention, I know that that workout seemed a little bit short, and that's because it was. I was, one, a little bit short on time, but two, I also feel a little bit tired today. Like, I feel my body is still like semi-recovering. I haven't been sleeping that well either. So I take it a lot easier on those days. I always let my body decide whether or not something is going to be incredibly intense. I'm usually working out really intensely because I feel like that's the best way to see results. But I let my body decide, like I have 3 leg days. That's already a lot. Like I feel like 2 could suffice. So I make sure to sort of really listen to my body and what it wants and what it doesn't want. And a lot of the times I'm feeling incredible and I'm recovering quickly, and I feel like that I can do 3 intense days. I do have variations though, like some days are high volume, some days are just strength days with low reps, but the intensity is always there. But if I'm not really feeling it, I'll always lay back. That did not take away from my workout at all though. Like my workout was incredible. The pump was crazy. It's one of the best pumps I've had in a while, and I had minimal exercises. But I think it worked that way because my body was a little bit tired. That level of training was just as intense as it would be if I did another what I usually do on another day when I was feeling like 100%. Another thing that I want to talk about, which a couple people asked me about, is training your legs or glutes 3 times a week necessary? And the answer is I don't think so. I think you can go 1 to 2 times, and as long as you're making sure you're training efficiently and effectively, you can see crazy results. And it also depends on like how well you build muscle and gain mass in your glutes. But I also want to mention that I build up to 3 days per week. So when I first started training, I was not training
legs 3 times per week. I was doing 1 time per week, and then I was doing 2 times per week. And I just got to the point in time where I feel like my body can recover at that frequency and at that intensity, just because I slowly built that up there. Currently on my way to my friend Rachel's house. It's her birthday. Well, it was her birthday yesterday, but it's her birthday dinner celebration tonight. So we're all meeting up there to go head out to dinner. I'm running late per usual. I don't know what it is about me, you guys. Like, I actually can't be on time. Like, I used to be so punctual. I feel like I used to be so punctual, but I don't know what went wrong with me. My sense of time is all messed up. It's not even that like I don't care about things, and that's why I just show up late. It's more like how long I think it's going to take me versus how long it takes me is never the same. And I always have like so much time, and I always think, all right, like, well, I should start later because it's not going to take me that long. And it doesn't take me that long, but I always end up starting a little bit too late, and I run late. Because it's not the getting ready that takes me a long time. It's just the time, it's just when I think I should start getting ready. That's my issue. And if I could master that, I'd be on time anywhere. Rachel, say hello.
Hello, YouTube.
Rachel was Asta's friend from elementary school, and she just got like hijacked from me halfway through. And now we're like a trio. Where'd you get the dress from? Actually, it's skirt, sorry.
This is Song of Style. Got it at Wasteland Sustainable Shopping.
I thought me like squeezing it was like.
I didn't hear that one. I saw Rachel.
Wait, I'm so
Can you put this
excited for the food.
Hi. I have reservations for 5 or 4, but there's actually only 3 of us, and I know we're a little late. Sorry.
Hi, baby. So cute. Oh.
Austin's gonna be pissed.
So I'm at a gas station late at night, and it normally makes sense that I bring you guys with me so nothing happens. I'm currently. Today's day was literally all over the place. I'm on my way back home, but I'm not staying there. So my sister called me randomly, and she's going back, so I no longer need to house sit. But I do have a lot of my stuff there, so I'm just gonna go and pick it up because one of the most important things that I left behind is my skincare routine. So I'm definitely gonna go grab that. My sister's a little bit lucky though, because I was a little bit underprepared to go and stay there. So I hadn't brought my protein powder. So I was literally like gonna ransack like all of her supplements. Whatever she had left like was all going to be mine. So when I went to go pick up my stuff, I think I left my vlogs like stick, the little like spider stick over there. So this is literally like the best thing that you're getting. It's literally propped up on a Beats headphone right now. But my first order of business since I'm back here is to literally double scoop my protein and drink it, because that's something that I didn't do after my workout, which is something that I normally do. So let's get it done. Also, this feels like one of those fruit smoothie nights because I really miss those bowls. So when I went to go grab the stuff from home, I was talking to my sister and asking why she left where she was, because she was at her friend's house. And she said that they basically, it's sort of a funny story. She basically came back, because after we went to the dinner, the birthday dinner, she was with me. She went over there and I went back home. And she walked into like sort of like a kickback happening. She walked into a kickback happening, and she was not expecting a kickback to be happening. She's like, I wasn't in the mood to like talk to people or hold fake conversations with people. And I was so tired, I just left. And it wasn't even one of those like dramatic leaves, like, I hate what's happening here, I'm leaving. It was more of like literally like, I think it's better if I go home. And I was laughing with her about it because like she was basically just talking about how she hates the fact that the small talk that you do when you don't know people, because she didn't know anyone that was there except for like her original friends. She was like, I was literally gonna have to sit there all night and make small talk, and people were gonna talk to me, and it was gonna feel so uncomfortable and awkward. And she's like, and I hate that entire process. And me too, like, let me say me too. Like, I hate the process of small talk from people who you feel like don't really care about you, but are just talking to you to like fill in the gap. You know what I'm saying? To like fill in that awkward silence. And I told her, and I was like, yeah, I feel like situations like that, like I was like, I agree with you. Like if I wasn't in the mood, I would totally leave. I guess that's what makes us sisters. Like I would absolutely get up, pack my stuff and leave just like she did. But like I feel like situations like that would be okay if people were just comfortable not talking to you. You know what I mean? Like instead of like, obviously some people might genuinely want to hold a conversation with you.
But for some people, it feels like it's just like filler. Like they don't really care about you. They ask you a couple things, they move on, and they never talk to you again. And you rinse and repeat with like everyone through the night. And I was like to my sister, I was like, the thing is like when I sit next to people who I don't know, like, and it's silent, it's not like I think it's awkward or anything. Like it's very comfortable. I'm at peace. Like if anything, like those situations, I would never feel uncomfortable in those situations if they just didn't start making small talk, and then we were all like trying to figure out what to say, trying to figure out how to keep a conversation going. I was like, I think if people were just comfortable with like silence with people that they didn't know and it wasn't awkward, that it would just be better. And she's like, but you know what? Like, I understand those people because like when I'm sitting next to someone and it's silent, I also want to make small talk and break that conversation and break that little awkward silence. And what's funny is like I used to feel like that, like, but I don't anymore. Like I used to get overwhelmed with anxiety in situations like that and get super uncomfortable, but I don't anymore. And then like, oh, I have so much more to say about this. I'm gonna drink this, make my fruit smoothie, and then I'm gonna talk about it because I have so much to say on this topic. And having that conversation with my sister literally just like brought it to light in my head, and I wanted to share it with you guys. This little protein fruit smoothie bowl just gets better every single time I have it. Anyways, by the way, I can't believe I used to not like coconut flakes until Nona, shout out Nona, told me about them, and I like bought them and I started putting them in virtually everything that has to do with fruits, and it is like the best thing ever. As I was saying, this conversation with my sister made me, I don't know, I was like on my way back when I was driving, I was like sort of like overwhelmed with happiness because I was like recalling how like I used to feel and how I no longer feel that way. And maybe I'll tell you guys like full story later, even though right now what I'm about to tell you is probably going to be a little bit lengthy. I won't give you all the details. I just sort of want to give you a rundown, and I want to give you guys like moments in my life where I felt completely lost and completely helpless, and just take you through like this timeline of like when I was probably the most anxious I have ever been, like when my anxiety was at its worst. And I always think that like a part of me has relatively always overthought things, and I just overanalyze, overthink, whatever that the case may be. But like anxiety to the degree that I felt it, I don't think like that kind of anxiety, I don't think it started till like high school. Going into college, you guys, like I just had accepted anxiety as a part of my life, and I mean that like I just thought I was gonna be this anxious, like ridden person for the rest of my life, and I had come to terms with the fact that I would feel really uncomfortable in really average situations, that this was just my life. To give you guys some insight, like I know people tweet things like this and they share memes like this, but like this was like a reality. Like everyone feels anxiety to a certain degree, but you know how they crack jokes about like how it's so awkward for like a dressing room door, for them to knock on a dressing room door and for you to say here. Like for me, those situations would make me so anxious that I would actually never say here, and I would allow them to unlock the door, and them opening the door would finally push me to that point where I could make a noise and be like, like I'm in here. I wouldn't even say I'm in here. I'd usually be like, and they'd be like, and they'd shut the door. Like that situation made me feel so uncomfortable that I literally could not willfully say something. I had to be put in a situation where I had to say something, so I would literally wait for them to unlock the door. This is just very simple things, but like just to show you how much it was really controlling my life. Or like let's say like when I was going apartment hunting with my best friend Diana in college, sometimes I would know immediately walking into a building, we would know immediately walking into a building whether or not we wanted that building. Like sometimes it would take a little bit more, but sometimes you would walk in and we'd be like, hell no, like this is not where we're gonna live. I would feel so uncomfortable just saying no that we would sit through the entire 30 to 40 minute tour guide application process, like all of it. Instead of saving my time and their time, I would waste it like all the time. And me and my sister have always shared that kind of connection. Like we always understood each other in that regard, right? But anyways, going into college, I accepted that as my reality. I don't want to go through all the specific details of everything, but I just want to say like when you start like sort of unpacking things in your life and sort of just analyzing like how you feel, how you can feel better, like meditating, sort of that self-journey process, you sort of rip the band-aid and things get a lot worse before they get better. And interesting enough, I chose to do this in college while I'm studying and like trying to balance studying and all of a sudden this urge I have to better myself that came like literally out of nowhere. It was really, really hard. My anxiety was getting really, really bad. It was getting worse. Like I was unraveling things. I at the same time, like I was connecting with myself, but it was making my feelings so much more invalid that it was really scary and it was hard to balance. So I came to a point in my life where I was like, okay, I want to do something about this. I was like, I know that I want to take care of myself and I know that I want to get better. But like me starting this sort of like fucked me up, and it's making school very, very difficult to manage. Like I'm getting zero sleep. I'm literally like, my health is deteriorating and I don't want that to happen. So I was like, I grew the courage and I went to a therapist and a psychiatrist to see what they could help me with, because I said, like, in my mind, I was like, I can't do this alone. Like, I can't balance school and the way that I'm feeling times 10, even though it was already worse before, on my own. And by the way, the story I'm about to tell you guys, literally, like, very few people in my life know. Almost nobody knows. I just feel like it's right to share with you guys at this moment. And I went to therapy and I saw a psychiatrist for a little bit, and I was taking medication for my, like, anxiety and depression. I was in school the year that COVID happened, and then we went home and we had to do everything from home. But then going into COVID, I was taking these medications, but it was a really weird feeling. Like, it did help throughout this process of like quarantine and lockdown and me literally like actually being at home for the entirety of the time. At some point I was like, this was, by the way, like a very, very, very awful mistake, and I'm not encouraging this to any degree. In fact, like, what I went through after this felt really, really awful to me. And I'm just sharing this for a specific reason. At some point during COVID and lockdown and quarantine, I had sort of enough. Like, I don't know what happened. I just decided, like, I've had enough. I sort of like had this like breakdown myself, though. Like, this was public. Like, I'm not sure if anyone around me knew what was happening. But I was like, I'm not taking these medications anymore. And I just cold turkey cut it. I want you guys to imagine how bad that could I want you guys to imagine how bad that probably was on me. Things got worse in a sort of different way. Yes, I was still anxious, but I was being put in a lot of social situations at that time for me to really like measure my anxiety. I was feeling really anxious, sometimes really late at night, and it was a really, 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 really terrible feeling. I started getting really irritated, really like aggressive, not towards people like physically, but more like hostile towards everything. I was like on edge, always, and I was not happy, to say the least. Like, I was honestly the happiest when I was just being consumed by something else, like when I was sitting down and like playing something. I remember the thoughts that went through my head, you guys. Like, I remember reading, because throughout these years of like working on myself, I had just read I had read books, I had read articles, I had read studies, just so many things. And like, I remember reading people talk about how you have to learn to live with it and it's never gonna go away. And that alone terrified me. Like, being in the position that I felt every single time, I would feel really, really awful. That would cross my head, and I'd be like, well, like, this is my life. And to put it shortly, it's not my life anymore. Like, I'm not saying this is, like, I don't know, like, I don't want people to take this video the wrong way and to say that I'm spreading misinformation or doing anything, but I just want you guys to let you know that for a very long period of my time, I felt like I was the most anxious person ever. Like, now I crack jokes about my anxiety, and I get performance anxiety a lot, in terms of like, even if like a friend is like, hey, like, I talked about you so much to this other friend, I can't wait for you to meet them. I hate that. Like, I hate feeling like I'm holding up to some kind of standard when I go somewhere. But I think that's normal, right? Like, maybe I feel it a little bit more than someone else would, but I wouldn't say it's anxiety disorder anymore. I'm just feeling anxious sometimes, and that's completely normal. But I used to think that was it for me, and now I reflect and I'm like, I don't feel those things at all. In fact, it's so different sometimes that, like, my sister says something, like, we'll be in a situation, she'll be like, oh, this made me feel like anxious, like how we used to relate, and I don't relate anymore. Even though I used to relate so much. Even, like, that's literally what I understood her so well because of that, and she understood me so well because of that. But now when she says things that I can't grasp my head around it. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that cheesy quote that it gets better. There's so much potential for it to get better. I think you just have to believe it. But just working on myself and like reviewing the things that I had been through and talking about them to myself, maybe talking about them to people who matter to me, and all of that like has and fitness has put me in this position in my life where I truly mean it, you guys. Like, I don't think I feel those things anymore. It makes me really happy. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I don't know if there's anyone out there who feels really anxious, who feels really sad, and who's just like, is this who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life? And I encourage you to never give up on yourself. Like, I'm not saying that like I know everything and I'm a doctor and for sure what happened to me can happen to everyone else, but what I'm trying to say is like, never give up on yourself. And I wish you guys knew, I wish I could explain how bad it was for me before and how comparatively I'm basically never get anxious now. And I never ever feel to that degree before. Like, I had been to the ER because of like panic attacks. It's like my best friend right next to me. Like, what's funny is, I remember this really funny story, but I saw this tweet the other day. It was like, anxiety attacks are really embarrassing to go to the hospital for because they finish and then you're just like, why was I doing that? And it's like, we went to the ER once, and because I felt really bad and I was having an anxiety attack, I'm like hyperventilating, all those things, and they were taking really long to get to me, and like I just sort of cooled down. I was just like, I don't want to be here. I just like beeline like out of there. Everyone was like, whoa, hold on, like, are you okay? I was like, I don't want to be here. And I just left. I never gave up on myself, and that's just my entire motto on life. Like, I'm gonna stick by my side to the very end, and I don't think anything is impossible. Seriously. And I'm gonna leave you guys with that one. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys, the feedback you give me on every video just means everything. I know I say this a lot, but I mean it a lot. And I'll see you guys next week. Mwah!